Hey everyone, I'm Drew.
And I'm Delco.
Welcome to the D&D show. So it's been a week or so since our last video. I just wanted to take a few minutes real quick before Delco heads up north with his family. He's on vacation this week and just hit me up and asked if we want to get together and do a quick video. So that's why we're here, and appreciate you taking the time on your vacation to get together. And we also want to thank one of our listeners for letting us know that we kind of ran a couple different stories together in the opening of that last video. And we will address those probably in the next one when we got more time, but we'll go back and revisit some of those. And just interestingly enough, none of those stories actually ended well for anybody involved. So it kind of ties into what we've been talking about up to this point. So appreciate the heads up on that, and sorry for the mix-up, but hey, we're not scholars, probably never will be, so we're just having fun. So with that, I know Delco had something he wanted to say. I guess go ahead and take it from here.
So me and Drew were talking a little bit ago, and I basically shared what I was thinking about. And this whole situation happened today, and God brought it to me today because we are so judgmental, as we've been talking about, like our pride and different perspectives and stuff like that. And I'm so thankful that I have people in my life that give me a different perspective on certain situations and certain things, that it basically allows me to see stuff differently. I mean, it's like I said in previous videos, it's easier to say it than to do it. You know, it's easier to come out of our mouths and to say, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to have a different perspective, or we're going to have different views, and we're going to be like this. But it's harder to do. So I was today cutting down, or basically pruning a tree, or I was going to cut it down because I was just basically sick of looking at the shrub, and half of it was burnt and the other half was green. And it was like, well, why don't you just prune the one side because it's still got life? And then I start thinking, I was like, well, my mom always tells me where there's life, there's hope. Not only with the tree, but with people, and how God is trying to basically mold and to shape us and to shape them. So I start thinking, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just cut this part of the tree. So I start cutting it, and I prune one side. I'm like, dude, this is so ugly. You know, I'm looking at it, and then I had to think of, like, on God's direction, maybe I think it's ugly, but God may think of something else. Like, maybe he the one, like, basically made it in the first place. So I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, Lord, well, I'm gonna prune this tree. And basically I start watering. I'm like, all right, Lord, this tree is ugly, like the way it's looking, but you made it from the beginning, so you're gonna have to take care of it, because it's still life on this tree. And I was told, where there's life, there's hope, and it's still life on this tree, so you got to take care of it. And then I was thinking, like, well, now we got something that's dead on this tree. If we leave the dead part of this tree, it could destroy the whole tree. But if we prune that part off, then maybe basically it could basically grow into basically what God had for it to be in the first place. So then it took me a little further. And I'm like, well, what if you got something that's like, basically you got something that's within. So you got a tree, and then we have people and life and stuff like that. If you have something that's within that is basically dead, it could destroy everything. So it's like God is saying basically that we have to look at it from his perspective. Although we sometimes see it as like, okay, well, what if, you know what I mean? Like, what if I don't want to be nice, I don't want to be this, or I don't want to be that. But maybe God is pruning them to what he would have them to be. Like, maybe God is pruning that tree to what he would have to be. So basically they gave me another perspective. Like, my mind is just like spinning, and gave me another perspective. Like, we don't know what, like, we don't know what God is doing. Like, no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what we see with our human eyes, God could be pruning somebody to be probably one of the greatest that we have ever seen. Or that tree that I prune could be probably the best tree out of all the other ones, and the other ones are brand new and green. You know? So, like, I guess, like, my whole, I guess, moral of that was, not to look at it from our own perspective, but to let God do the pruning and then see what he does with it instead of us doing the pruning or getting ready to just go in and just chop the whole thing down. Like let God in your life do the pruning, and don't try to be so fast that you miss something, because I almost missed it because I was ready to chop the tree down. I almost missed it, but it was like where there's life, there's hope. So don't be so judgmental, so critical on situations where you miss the point of God trying to prune something and you be the one to end up chopping it down and ruining everything. Or don't let something within destroy everything that you have created and that you have started. Like let God be the one to say it's time to move, or it's time to, like let God be the stepping stone. Because he said that I am the vine and you are the branches. If you abide in me and I in you, you'll bear much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing. We can do nothing without God. And we can really do nothing without each other. Somebody needs somebody. So this is for somebody that feels like they're all alone, feels like they're been pruned, or feel like they're been chopped down. Like God is going to do something special for you if you allow him to. But if you move too quick, and like my mom tell me all the time, if we move too quick, we can miss it. So let God prune your life and prune the things that are dead within out, so that he can help us all to grow into what he has intended for us to be in the first place.
I like that. And it can be a very painful process sometimes, I think, for a lot of people. And it's like we were talking, it's cool how when you really slow down and take time to think about something as simple as a tree and that whole process. And most people just don't want to take the time to look inward and see what needs to be trimmed or what needs to be removed from their lives. I mean, I've seen some bushes. I actually, over the weekend, we had some nice weather. We were working outside. I trimmed one of the bushes in our backyard, and it looks a lot better. There's still some sticks and things that are kind of exposed, so it's not, it'll grow back is the point. And when it grows back, it'll be bigger and better and more beautiful than it was before. It will heal itself, and I think we need to be willing to do that. And like you said, everybody needs somebody, and sometimes it takes somebody else to help you do the pruning. It's not that judgmental, off the cuff kind of, you got a problem with this, or we tend to kind of think we're better than somebody else because they have that certain problem or they have that little dead spot in their life. Rather than trying to help them, we want to criticize them in that. So I think we always try to bring a little bit of a challenge. So our challenge for this week until the next video is just again, try to slow down and think of some things in your life that could be pruned. Some of those things that are interfering with your ability to have the compassion on people, that's keeping you from living the life that you're meant to live. The peace, the joy that comes from within, not from with things and relationships and social media and all that stuff. The things that are important. Like you said, I'm the vine, you are the branches, and apart from me, you can do nothing, and you can't. You're just, I don't want to say lost. You're lost. You're missing something.
I was about to say, I'm gonna say it for you. You are lost. Without God, we are lost. Yeah. He is the creator of this earth, and without him, we are lost. Period. And I'm gonna just throw that out there because I know you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes we just gotta say it flat and say it how it is.
Yeah, we do.
We are lost without God. And that's why we have the voids and stuff that we have in our lives. We have that empty spot because it was meant to have love and compassion and all that stuff. And that's what stems from God. And with that void, we have nothing. And that's why you can have all the money in the world. That's why I had this conversation. You can have all the money and stuff in the world. We see so many people taking their lives. Robin Williams. We see Michael Jackson died. From, like his issues, you see Whitney Houston, you know what I mean? Like you see all these people with all this money and all this power, and it means nothing because without God, it will always be a void that you cannot feel that he is the only one that can feel. So I'm saying that.
Right,
So,
no,
you know.
no.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So yeah, I guess with that, anything else you want to throw out there?
Nope.
All
Let
right.
God do the pruning.
There you go.
Let him do
And-
the pruning.
Yep. We will see you in the next video. Enjoy your vacation, time with
know
your
it.
family, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one.